It is. Right, the women's Tandem B 1,000 metre time trial final. There are 5 starters and 5 tandems, means that the bronze medal will be awarded. Of course, there was that controversy in the women's tandem sprint, in which even though the English tandem of Sophie Unwin and Georgia Holt finished in 3rd place, they didn't actually get a bronze medal because there were only 4 starters in the sprint, but there are 5 in the time trial. Holt and Unwin, and another Holt, Nia Holt riding for Wales with Amy Cole, Libby Clegg and Jenny Hull for Scotland, Aileen McGlynn, the record-breaking Scottish stoker with Ellie Stone, and Jessica Gallagher and Caitlin Ward, the Australian pairing on that tandem, who are the favourites to take this. It is the Welsh tandem first up. Nia Holt is the stoker and Amy Cole the pilot. So this is the tandem we have yet to see in action. But Wales have made a really good impact so far in the Commonwealth Games at the track programme here at Lee Valley Velo Park.
Well, you can see the work and the precision that goes into getting that bike set up. Obviously, the tandem bike, a lot harder to get set up correctly in the start gate, being a lot longer.
So making their tournament debut, the Welsh pair, Nia Holt and Amy Cole. No heats, no qualification, straight into the final for this women's tandem 1,000 metre time trial. So a medal at stake straight away for Wales here.
And at this point, as a pilot, when you're taking your stoker to the bike, it's quite a change in the light, and sometimes for the visually impaired rider on the back, it's quite difficult, because at this point the lights are actually facing towards you in the brightest part of the track. So it's very much kind of your guiding responsibilities aren't just on the tandem, they're actually getting your rider to the bike as well.
So Amy Cole clips in on the front of the tandem. She is the pilot responsible for harnessing the power of Nia Holt, the stoker at the rear of the tandem. The only bike on the track, it's a 1,000 metre time trial, 4 laps of the velodrome against the clock.
See the riders just staying relaxed there while the team staff and mechanics need to be really careful to make sure that the feet are clipped in properly and straps really tight. They're putting the straps under the aero covers.
And it's a slightly different countdown with the tandems as well. Instead of there being the 50-second countdown as soon as the bike is ready in the start gate with this, the tandems get a 15-second countdown. So the first beep you'll hear will be 15 seconds to go until the riders are on the off.
Nia Holt, very experienced rider indeed. (28 years of age. From Newport. Took a long break from the sport before rediscovering her passion for it just recently and getting back on the tandem. Having already started a family, she's a mother. Nia Holt now from Newport, getting up to speed as these riders get that tandem up to racing tempo, and then seated will try and hold that power all the way to the finish line. Cheer to the rafters here by a big crowd in the Lee Valley Velo Park. Be very interesting to see how fast they go. We know a little bit about the other tandems because we've seen them in action in the tandem sprint. This is the only tandem that we didn't see compete in that discipline. Half distance in 39.521.
Yeah, it's been a good start so far, a really solid start out of the start gate, and then they're just trying to hold on to this pace now after that fast second lap, and holding on all the way, keeping the bike as close to the black line as they can with 1 lap to go.
Here we go then, 56 seconds through 750 metres for Cole and Holt. Still looking really good on the tandem, holding their shape really well. Holt powering that tandem on from the rear position. on the bike, and they post a time of 1:13.435. Well, it's some distance off the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth Games record, which is simultaneously a world record set by Sophie Thornhill for Great Britain. And that world record is 1:04.623. But we do at least have a benchmark now for the next tandem. First up to measure themselves against. Scotland will be up next. So Nia Holt from Carmarthenshire in South Wales. It was at the age of 17, so 11 years ago, when her vision started to deteriorate, and she found her way to the sport through a disability programme in Newport.
And that programme has always been very strong at Newport. Probably one of the first tracks in the country to develop a specific paracycling programme that have helped so many riders along their way.
So next up, it is Libby Clegg and Jenny Hole. Libby Clegg, another one of these athletes who've come to cycling via athletics. A sprinter competing over 100 metres with great success, actually.
Yeah, something you see in parasport a lot is that talent transfer, taking riders from one sport to another, and to a great deal of success as well.
So this tandem finished in 4th place in the tandem sprint.
You just see the pilot there, Jenny Hole, putting her Garmin under the top tube of the bike, the down tube.
Collect all the data that they can pore over and analyse later. Don't think she needs it for navigating, it's just turn left, isn't it? All right, bedding in and concentrating now. How are they going to fare against that Welsh tandem of 1:13.435? All good to go. Former 100 metres sprinter. Turned 1,000 metre time trialist then. How's she going to fare, Libby Clegg? So, Scotland up and running then. Halfway down the back straight, that is roughly when the Welsh tandem pairing had their tandem up to speed. And they sat down and got into a time trial position, and roughly the same spot there for the Scottish pairing.
A little bit faster than the Welsh team over the first lap.
Yeah, quite a lot up on the Welsh team, actually. At this point in the race, Jenny Hole sitting on the front, and you can almost feel the power coming from Libby Clegg, the stoker, on the back of that tandem.
Yeah, you can see it. There was a lot of movement at the shoulders. There's absolutely everything going through those pedals.
Taking chunks out of the Welsh time at the moment, over 2 seconds up at the halfway point. 1 lap to go and 2.5 seconds to play with. They're going to set the best time here, Scotland.
Oh, the legs will be burning now. The 1,000 metres, it is torturous to get through that last lap, the last half a lap.
So 1:13.435 the time to beat, which they do comfortably, 1:09.953.
Very good time by the Scottish pairing, and something they just didn't die in that kilometre time trial. They held on to the pace and kept their composure and the synchronicity really well together on that final lap, because that ultimately is where you start to really tie up and where the legs are burning, and also trying to control the tandem as well with the both of you, because any kind of little movement on the back from the stoker, it makes the front move as well. So any kind of little twitch had an effect on the steering, especially with the pilot on the tri-bars as well.
You can see in the start here, Barney, I don't know if you noticed it, but it looked like there was a little bit of, the synchronisation wasn't perfect, with a little bit of movement from the rider on the back. So Libby Clegg.
It's quite a common issue you have to try and overcome with the tandems. Is you can it's very difficult to explain the tandem start to someone who can't really see what you're trying to explain. So for anyone who has vision, you can actually see how a start is done and how it's carried out. For someone who has a visual impairment, you have to try and describe how you do that. And it's actually really difficult to do. And it's a completely strange, abnormal thing to try and get someone to do who can't see what they're trying to do. So it's a huge challenge and something they did very well to keep so synchronised. You know, and they're relatively new to it as well, Libby Cleggers, anyway.
The England pair of Georgia Holt on the left, smiling there, and a smile of concentration breaks out on the features of Sophie Unwin as well. This English pairing, they get on extremely well together, know each other very, very well, very bonded, and a very good unit. They finished in third place in the women's tandem sprint. Their immediate target is to go faster than Scotland. 109.953, the time to beat.
That's a fast benchmark for them to target.
It's not bad, is it? It's 5 seconds outside of world record pace. Well, they're not going to lack support. Lee Valley Velo Park to the east of London in the old 2012 Olympic Park, which I have to say we walk through every day on our way to work, and looks absolutely beautiful. It's been a fantastic legacy in this park, and the Lee Valley Velodrome, subsequent to 2012, has hosted a number of memorable cycling events, and it continues to make history here, hosting the Commonwealth Games now. These para-track cycling events fully integrated into the Commonwealth Games programme, each medal equally weighted with the non-para-track events. And England have yet to take a gold medal on the track. 2 silver medals, 2 bronze for England. What can Georgia Holt and Sophie Unwin do?
You could hear the coach count down then for the start. That's the other help that the visually impaired rider gets on the back. That countdown with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go.
Well, they've got a very fast start.
Oh, they have. Absolutely flying at the moment. Got off to a very fast start there. Almost a second up through a quarter of the distance on the Scottish tandem.
Sophie Unwin having a lot of endurance about her as well. Let's hope that they can hold on to it. Extending their lead at the moment. Looks like a good ride.
Holding the pace, if not growing it. Half distance, they're 1.5 seconds up on Scotland. Look how much Sophie Unwin is investing into this. It's really starting to hurt for the stoker at the back. Can they hold this pace? 1.9, they're growing it at the same tempo. This is a great ride from England.
Got to really hang on now. This is where it's burning. They've got to really hang on.
Whatever happens, this ride is going to be good enough for a bronze medal at least. 107.554. Over 2 seconds faster than Scotland. The very least that they're going to get out of this final is a bronze medal for the pairing who finished in third place in the sprints.
Well, they're happy with that time, and so they should be.
Oh, the relief that it's all over. That hurt. Sophie Unwin's face there was a picture of pain.
That really was a super time. That will put them in a very, very strong chance of a medal, and will certainly make the strongest favourite. You know, in this time trial title, the Australians think, wow, we're going to have to really go some now to beat this English pairing.
Yeah, they've laid down the marker there. Good enough at least for bronze. 107.554. Inside 3 seconds to the world record pace.
Yeah, they really did look like they were giving it absolutely everything. You could see the pain on their faces. And just watching them, it's like, what a brutal event this 1,000 metres is.
And you can see there any kind of little flinch of movement on the back, and it transfers into the steering on the front. So it's such a tricky discipline to try and synchronise both riders to do the same thing at the same time.
Well, every tandem pairing, Barney, as I'm sure you can tell us, she can't get off Georgia Holt. That's how deep she's gone. Someone help her off.
I've been in this situation so many times.
Every tandem pairing is bonded. I mean, it doesn't work unless you've got an innate understanding of one another. And I'm sure the friendships can go very deep, especially when it's clicking as well. And these two look a really welded unit.
They do indeed, yeah. You spend a lot of time training with each other and training together in very close proximity with the riders. So you certainly get to know each other. And you talk an awful lot whilst you're rolling around waiting for your training efforts. And I'm sure this pair won't be any different.
Bronze medal secure, whatever happens. Now then, Aileen McGlynn, 49 years of age. One of Scotland's greatest ever Paralympians. She's on the back here, she's the stoker. And at 21, Ellie Stone.
Okay, 15 seconds.
Under half her age, unusual pairing, but they are very, very fast. Silver medalists in the sprint. Aileen McGlynn and Stone. Off they go. And now they've caught their breath. The England tandem will be watching on with some anxiety as the Scotland pair get that tandem up to speed. Look how much power Stone is putting through the cranks there. And Aileen McGlynn.
Well, they're faster at this point. Just one lap into the race, they are faster.
They are 0.3 of a second faster for Scotland. Can they hold the pace all the way?
This will be the crucial thing with this pairing. Can they hold on to it? I think in those last couple of laps, this is where you might see the difference between the Scots and the English come back together again.
There or thereabouts, but they're only at the halfway point now. They went out very, very hard there, McGlynn and Stone. Will they be able to hold the pace, or will they start to fade? They're certainly not getting faster, but they're close to the finishing line now. They'll take the bell, 750 metres to go. It's going to be close, but they should be all right. They should be all right.
Well, 0.3 of a second with a lap to go.
Oof.
0.2 of a second.
It's going to be tight on the line. 107.554 the time of England. This is for the silver medal of the Star. Well, England at the moment are in the silver medal position. And Aileen McGlynn and Ellie Stone are the second fastest of the tandems to finish by a whisker.
And you can see the English in the middle of the track absolutely delighted to know that they're guaranteed at least a silver medal with one team left to go. And Jessica Gallagher and Caitlin Ward, so the Scottish there at least guaranteed a bronze medal, maybe silver. And that is the Welsh pairing we saw. They are sitting in at least a silver medal and potentially even a gold medal, as we see the replay now of Aileen McGlynn giving absolutely everything. And it was only that last half a lap, like Barney had explained to us, that was their weakness, the distance.
0.02 of a second, that's all it was. A 50th of a second. If they'd gone a 50th of a second faster, it would have been the silver medal, the provisional silver medal.
I think whenever it's that close, you do think about it a lot after the race. To think, what could I have done differently? How could I have got that little part back? But it's impossible to try and make that many changes, I think, in this situation.
Well, that said, they are in the provisional silver medal standings, but their problem is this pair. Australia, the winners of the gold medal in the tandem sprint. Caitlin Ward, the pilot, and the very, very talented Jess Gallagher as the stoker.
And they're a much bigger pairing, this pair, so getting off the start line is always going to be a little bit more tricky, but I'm sure they're going to use their power and strength to overcome that.
Yep, ready. Okay, 15 seconds.
So the task is simple for Gallagher. Get the tandem over the line inside 107.554, and it's a gold medal to go with her sprint gold medal. Off they go then. This is the moment of truth for Australia. Can it be double gold in the tandem events here in London? Getting off to a very, very strong start, and already there, 0.2 of a second up on the pace of the England tandem. As only now do they drop down onto the tri-bars and get into that time trialing position. A lot of lateral movement on the front from Caitlin Ward, the pilot.
Yeah, there's a huge amount, and you can see because of the height difference with Jessica Gallagher on the back, it's a lot more difficult with the tri-bars on the front of this bike. And this is by no means over, this race. This is going to be incredibly close.
Well, they're 0.3 of a second up at the moment. Can the Australians bring it home for another gold medal? It's going to be awfully close with the English team.
Starting to look a little bit ragged on the front, Caitlin Ward, but all that smooth delivery of power from the stoker at the back, Jess Gallagher. She's driving this tandem on, but are they getting slower? Should be all right to take this one home. Australia pushing for glory and making it gold number 2, which they do. Gold for Australia, gold for Gallagher, a double Commonwealth gold medalist. They have dominated the women's tandem events, and deservedly so. Ward and Gallagher unbeatable in Birmingham 2022.
An amazing ride by this Australian pair. You can see the delight on their faces now. That was their biggest challenge, getting off the start line and getting up to a strong pace very, very quickly. And they certainly finished the job off incredibly well on that last lap.
Yeah, they went out very strong. They had the fastest time actually the entire way through that race. So we did predict that they would slow down a little bit in the last half a lap, but in fact they actually held the time. So a fantastic ride from the Australian pair. Gold medal going to Jessica Gallagher and Caitlin Ward from Australia.
Oh, draw breath. Pretty relentless at the moment. As they roll through and drop back down into the track centre to towel down and get ready for their second gold medal ceremony. And the Australian fans simmer down after more success here on a day that so far hasn't seen New Zealand pick up any medals, so that's good news for Australia. We will prepare ourselves to see the men's tandem sprint finalists back on the boards. Here we are, Jess Gallagher, the winner from Sophie Unwin in silver medal position, and Aileen McGlynn this time picking up bronze for Scotland.